Boy, oh boy, it has been quite a week, you all. Like, it's been flipping crazy. I don't know if anyone's been paying attention to what's going on. But, I mean, it can be, don't pay attention too much. Because they want you to get all sucked in and get your mood bad and all this other stuff. But listen, it's not all totally bad. Because, like I said, in order for things to change and things to become different, first, all the evil that's been hiding underneath must come above to the surface, so to speak. So, it's not all bad news in that sense. But I'm not going to lie. I'm a little, I'm growing a little impatient with people. I'm growing impatient for people to realize for themselves what is actually important. Instead of just looking at like the news or social media to see what everyone else is focused on, maybe we should all just stop for a minute and ask ourselves, what is actually important? You know what I mean? And I'm going to show you an example. And before, I really talk about this story that's been going viral and trending, I don't really know much about it. What I know is a woman's mom is missing. And that's horrible. And I hope they find her. I do. I wouldn't wish this on anybody. But to be perfectly frank, I can't help but to ask myself, how is it that all these mainstream news media are giving so much airtime to this missing woman when they blatantly ignore millions of parents around the world, parents and children who go missing? That's what I'm kind of curious about. That's what I can't help but to ask for myself. But now, and I know people are going to take it the wrong way. I don't really care if you take it the wrong way, because I know I don't want this woman to be missing. Obviously not. I hope they find her. And I'm glad that the mainstream news media is finally talking about missing people in general. My question to them now is, from here going forward, are we going to be talking about these kinds of things more? Because this is a huge problem, mainly for children. I don't know, and in case everyone forgot, as of a year ago, there was still 500,000 missing children in this country, 400,000 to be exact. That's roughly the population of Miami that's went missing in this country. So, that was as of a year ago, and like the news talked about it once and never talked about it again. Bam, they just totally erased it and ignored it. And here we have this poor woman, and luckily for her, she's lucky, I guess. That the news media must be having a slow week, right? They must be having such a slow week. It's not like they had the Epstein files come out and all this other stuff going on. It's not like they had all that. They're focusing on this missing woman. So I'm happy for her. That's good for her. That might mean they might actually find her, hopefully. I don't know. But I just know that it's odd. And it's something that I noticed. If they want to talk about missing people, if that's what they wanted to talk about, they can just look on my Twitter feed and see like all the missing people up and down but anyways, that's beside the point. The point is, this woman's missing. I hope they find her. Another thing that I have thought about in lieu of everything that's coming to light with these Epstein files, that Pizzagate was most likely like a real thing, which we all knew it was. No one talks about pizza in the way that those emails talked about pizza. Okay? So now that we've got more verification that this is actually a real thing that had happened with our elite politicians, I also thought it was worth noting that, this is the Guthrie woman who went missing. If anyone sees her, please, contact your local news organization or the FBI or whoever you got to call, because they love to talk about it. Anyway, that the Pizzagate gunman, you remember Pizzagate, all those emails came out, and that one boy, Edgar Madison Welch from North Carolina, decided to take justice into his own hands and drive up to Washington, D.C. from his North Carolina town with a gun and go into that pizza restaurant and rescue the children, as if they wouldn't have already gotten all the children out. Like, dude, it was already public at that point. Like, if there were children there, they would have been long gone by the time he got there. Anywho, Edgar Allison and Madison Welch. This all happens, 9 years ago or 5 years ago? Oh my God, when did this Pizzagate happen? It was either in the 2016 era or the Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking about 2016-ish era. And this was like 9 years ago. You would think that since then that they would have more pictures, because he died a year ago. He was gunned down by police, in case you all didn't know, in case you guys don't keep up this channel. He was gunned down a year ago by police in North Carolina at a routine traffic stop. Routine traffic stop. He was gunned down. They didn't have any pictures. They didn't have any body cam footage. In fact, the news had to recycle an old picture from his first arrest in 2016. I don't have it on here now, but it's the same picture of when they arrested him in DC like 9 years ago. They don't have any new footage, despite the fact he was gunned down by police just a year ago at a routine traffic stop and was killed as a result of it. And I even had the police report. I did a video on it. It was a very sketchy police report. There was barely any information, and there's needs to be, especially when a police officer kills a citizen. You would think there'd be a lot more information in it, but it was really hush-hushed and silenced. It was very strange. So I just wanted to bring that up, and the timing of it wasn't lost on me. The timing of it was roughly a week or two before Trump was inaugurated. I mean, was that a coincidence? Could have been, I guess. I don't know. It's not like Trump was overly concerned. But the point is, I think people thought he was concerned. I think they were worried he was concerned about releasing these files, so they wanted to clear up some loose ends. That's just my speculation. It's speculation opinion. When this was all unnecessary. If they had just waited a couple months, they would have known, oh, we're good. We don't need to kill any of these loose ends because, nothing's going to happen. They're not going to do anything about it. Now that we know. You didn't have to kill Edgar Madison Welch, but you did. In my opinion, allegedly. But let's continue. Let's continue with the real story of the week. Now, if this hasn't taught us anything, I hope it's taught us one very important, valuable lesson. That it doesn't matter which of the two presidents you vote for, the two choices that they give you. It doesn't really matter which one you vote for. Okay? They both are, either one of them still have the deep state that they got to answer to at the end of the day. And Jeffrey Epstein, I think, was actually probably just a small part of this deep state machine. But he was an integral part. He was an important part. He was important enough that these files, even though they only released half of them, and I'm sure it wasn't even the half that was really bad. They released these. Oh my God. Imagine what the other half of those files show. Some sick stuff. And they're not going to investigate it. They're not going to look into it further. They just want us all to let it all go and move on with their lives. Not focus on the negativity. Don't worry about the children and how they were harmed. And yeah, it's crazy. It is crazy what is going on right now for anybody watching. And that whole argument and it actually was a very good argument. I'll give them that. It had me going for a while. That argument they gave about Donald Trump, but they were like, come on, guys. When the Democrats were in office, if he was in those files, they would have used them against him. Duh. And, it did all sound fine and good, but that argument's dead in the water. Because we can see he was very much implicated in the files. And it don't matter how many times he goes out and says, oh, these files have vindicated me. It doesn't matter how many times he says it. We can see, we have eyes, and we can research, and we see he's in them. He is clearly in them. And to Todd Blanche, he's sitting there saying, we've fulfilled our obligations, and it's not a crime to party with Mr. Epstein. Well, if they were just partying and everything was above board, why haven't you released the other half of the files? Clearly, everything was not above board. Clearly, things were not above board. And they still aren't above board. And you can spray all the chemtrails in the sky you want. We're not going to have a sudden memory lapse and forget all this stuff. It's not going to happen. By the way, I wanted to bring this whole thing up again. Prince Andrew. Didn't they already, like 3 other separate times, strip his titles? How many times are they going to say, oh, we're stripping him of his titles? He is officially stripped of his titles. He is no longer Prince Andrew Mountbatten. They said this like 100 times. And here they go saying it again. So they haven't stripped him of his, like, what the heck is going on, UK? You can't just say that every time something bad comes out about him. Like, come on. And by the way, where is Lady Victoria Harvey in all this? Wasn't she the one vehemently defending Andrew? Like, oh my God, this is all bullshit, you guys. That photo was obviously fake. Because look, I brought a guy. Mysteriously, I had access to this exact same apartment, brought my own guy in there to take photos. It's all fake. It's all fake. It's all fake. Clearly, she's lying. Clearly, it's fake. She was like literally the only one out here. Like, no one else even had the nerve to say that that photo was fake. No one even had the nerve to say it but her. They literally had her throwing herself out there, making her look stupid. And now that these Epstein files have come out, well, these files indicate that there may have been not necessarily that picture necessarily, but that Andrew does have pictures of him and Virginia. They do, in fact. And yeah, that photo, listen, you might have been able to use that excuse now if that photo like had just came out recently. This photo's been out for years, girl. Like, stop it. Stop it. And we all remember those types of cameras that Virginia had. You know, those disposable, cheap Walmart cameras. You could go and then, you know, you would get like, take a bunch of pictures and then go get them developed. There were disposable cameras for people who couldn't afford cameras. Because back then you had to have a camera to take pictures. You didn't have a cell phone camera back then. So that's what she had. That's what she used. And those pictures aren't exactly easy to fake. I mean, I guess it's possible. But someone as poor and as broken as Virginia, she didn't have the resources to do that. Like, shut up, Lady Victoria Harvey. Like, shut up. Go back to Bristol and just, yeah, stay there. Wherever you're hiding, just do us all a favor and stay there. Because, like, girl, it's not looking good for you. It's not looking good for you at all. I mean, the BBC even agrees with me. You know, your beloved BBC. So, yeah. We were all right. They were all wrong. And I'm going to go out on a limb here and speculate, that being the key word, speculate that all of our other conspiracy theories are, they might be conspiracies, but they're no longer theories. I'll just say that. But anyways, let's read some of this article because it is pretty interesting. An email seemingly from Ghislaine Maxwell appears to confirm that a photograph of Andrew Mountbatten Windsor with his arm around Virginia Giuffre is real. The former prince, who has always denied any wrongdoing, has previously questioned whether the picture had been doctored, and he claimed he had never met Giuffre. But in a message released as part of the latest batch of the Epstein files, headed Draft Statement by a G. Maxwell to Epstein in 2015, she wrote, "In 2001, I was in London when blank redacted met a number of friends of mine, including Prince Andrew. A photograph was taken as I imagined she wanted to show it to friends and family." That was an email draft from Ghislaine Maxwell. It truly does vindicate Virginia. I mean, it does vindicate her in a way, but not really. She's not vindicated until, like, he's actually, like, charged. You know what I mean? So all these MFers are charged. None of them are vindicated. It's all still just a bunch of bullshit until justice is served. That's just my opinion. But agree to disagree. The message sent by Epstein, who is alleged to have taken the photo, reads, "Yes, she, Giuffre, was on my plane, and yes, she had her picture taken with Andrew." In a 2019 interview with Newsnight, Mountbatten Windsor denied meeting Giuffre and suggested that the photograph or elements of it may have been faked. And oh my God, timing is everything. I bet he actually thought, because Giuffre was dead at that point, he thought, okay, well, I'm in the clear. I can literally go on this interview and bold-face lie to everybody and no one will ever find out. Because I doubt that he thought that these emails would ever see the light of day. Of course he thought they wouldn't. Or he wouldn't have done the interview. He said at the time, nobody can prove whether or not that photograph has been doctored, but I don't recollect that photograph ever being taken. And first of all, Prince Andrew, the correct response would have been that photograph was never taken, not I don't recollect that photograph ever being taken. But of course, that would have been an even bigger lie. But I mean, it doesn't matter. You're lying either way. Either go all in or don't. You know what I mean? It's such an idiot. Oh my God. In the disastrous, and that's putting it lightly, in the disastrous interview, he also famously claimed that he was not at Maxwell's home, but at a Pizza Express in Woking. As if that couldn't have easily been debunked. A public place like that, people there would have definitely known if a prince was there, for sure. Buckingham Palace made the announcement that Mountbatten Windsor, meaning Andrew, would leave his residency in October last year. At the same time, he was stripped of his royal titles. And as we just found out, he hasn't even left yet. The latest batch of documents released by the DOJ on Friday included pictures of him kneeling on all fours over a woman lying on the ground, while other files repeatedly reference him. So, yeah, clearly that photo was real. There wasn't just an email from Ghislaine either. We also read that there was also an email from Giuffre who confirmed around that same time a picture of them two being taken together. So obviously it was important enough for them to reference it in an email. And I have no doubt Virginia at the time was just innocently taking a picture. She meet a prince, obviously, and obviously his ego loved that and allowed her to do it. And Ghislaine just, decided to stand there, They have no one to blame but themselves. I mean, when you go around perpetrating evil on the Goyams, as they like to call us, a bit racist, in my opinion. I don't even know what that means, but, I'm offended. I am personally offended. I don't like that. But yeah, anyway, so they're literally going around doing this to Goyam children. I think. Yeah, I mean, who knows? They don't care. They would do it to their own children. I have no doubt. I mean, evil is evil. That's just my opinion. But yeah, justice for Virginia, justice for all these victims, all victims of this nonsense. And you know what? Not just for the actions themselves, but justice for the cover-up. Justice for them being gaslit and made to feel like what happened to them wasn't that big of a deal. Their lives being ruined, their innocence being taken, their mental health destroyed. That didn't matter. All that was worth these rich fucks getting their moments of gratification. There's no justification in it anymore. And money is not everything. Money is not fucking everything. Honestly, it's all fake and bullshit anyway. You know what I mean? They're obviously miserable. They're obviously miserable and they like misery if they're doing this to people. You know what I mean? Honestly, I think they purposely target, this is all speculation. I'm getting into big speculation here, but people like Epstein, people like Prince Andrew, I think they purposely target good people and target good kids. I do. I mean, all kids are good kids, but you know what I mean? They purposely target innocents and the poor people who, for whatever reason unknown to them, have found a way to make life enjoyable, to find meaning in life and purpose in life and love. And them with all their money in the world cannot be happy. And I think they hate that. I think they resent that. I do. I honestly believe they have a deep hatred for poor people who are happy, who make it, who don't complain about everything. You know what I mean? Who, I think they purposely go after those people. I think they hate it. I don't think they can stand it. They know that those people have something that they can never get with all the money that they've got. Something that they'll never be able to have. That's just my opinion. There needs to be more people fighting for goodness. There's too many people out there fighting for the bad, not enough fighting for goodness. And I hope these files have awakened people to that, to what happens when good people ignore things like this. Then good people get hurt. Anyway, so that's really all I had to say for all this. If you guys want to do something small to make a difference, you can always sign and share this petition to defund and dismantle the CIA. I mean, it's not going to cure everything, but it's definitely a huge step in the right direction, because they are essentially like the boots on our necks from the deep state. They are the boots on our necks, constantly pushing their agenda, spying on us. Just sign and share it. It's a small thing we can all do. But anyways, yeah, and on that note, I'm not suicidal. Have a good day.